What is going on, guys? Welcome into the Set It Off Network. Hope you are having a great start to your work week. Unfortunately, LSU did not have a very good weekend, so that is what we're here to talk about. LSU baseball gets swept at Auburn on the Plains in a top 15 matchup. This is LSU's second series they've lost of the SEC slate through 5 weeks. So not too bad, man. In this conference, it is rough. You throw in 3 sweeps, the ones you did win, which kind of helps you even things out. My belief has always been if you can sweep somebody, it forgives a series loss 2 out of 3. The only problem here is you lost all 3 games, which honestly is unacceptable. Like if you're LSU and you want to be that top 8 national seed, and you want to reach these goals that you have for this year, part of that comes with not getting swept. Being able to put something together, one game for one day a week, at least to salvage at least a game from these series. You should never be in the position to get swept, but you were in that this weekend and you weren't able to get it done. Auburn pitching just dominated you from start to finish, Friday through Sunday. It was all about the Auburn Tigers pitching. You scored 4 runs on Friday night, and that was the most you were going to score the entire weekend. You ended up scoring 2 on Saturday and 2 again on Sunday. And even though a lot of the scores reflected, LSU pitched it pretty well. Outside of Cade Anderson's start on Friday night, I really thought that LSU pitched really well. Chase Shores on Sunday got the early hook, which was understandable being that you still had Zach Cohen and Kason Evans available on Sunday. So I understand it there. You're really trying to get a win there. So you're going to go to your best guys as soon as any sign of trouble comes. I thought Anthony Eisen was good enough to give you a chance to win. It was just plain and simple. The offense just was a no-show, which is so unlike a Jay Johnson team. For however many years now, 3 years Jay Johnson's been here through 3 complete seasons. You rarely see stretches like this from LSU offensively. It is just not something that happens very frequently. And credit to Auburn. Like, Auburn pitched it extremely well. Cade Fisher and Samuel Dutton pitched extremely well on Friday and Saturday. And Auburn kind of had a rallying day on Sunday where a lot of their guys came in and threw strikes, and an offense that wasn't producing continued to not produce. So credit to them. They made pitches when they needed to. They got double plays when they needed to. It was just all in all just a terrible performance offensively from LSU. It just felt like in every crucial situation you had a chance to get back into these games, you just weren't able to capitalize. Like, nobody could come up with that one hit to kind of give you the spark you needed. And it was very uncharacteristic because it was guys that all year have been producing. Guys like Jared Jones, guys like Derek Curiel, guys like Danny Dickerson that were coming up with runners on and just not able to do their job. And it was very frustrating. I'm sure a lot of you watched it and feel the same way. But I do want to say that while obviously it's never good to get swept, at any point, you did lose to a good Auburn team, all right, and maybe, just maybe, this is the kind of like reset that LSU needs to get motivated for the back half of the season. You have 3 series wins. You have a really good series win at Oklahoma, but as of now, you've lost to the 2 most quality teams that you played. And I understand it's a road series in the SEC and it's not easy, but you want to be one of those top 8 teams in the country. And when you're being compared against the best teams in the country, when it comes to make that selection of who gets those top 8 seeds, that's what they're going to look at, is how they played against each other. And right now, you're not doing a great job of, standing out ahead of the crowd, if that makes any sense. It's something that I'm looking forward to throughout the rest of the season because the schedule gets extremely tough now. These final 5 weeks of the season, you have Alabama coming to town, who just lost their series against Mississippi State. So like, that's a team that wants to host a regional, that really needs a bounce back. That is, desperate to get SEC wins, just like you are. But the biggest thing I want to see out of LSU is I want to see the offense. I'm really hoping that this was the outlier and it was just a little bit of a funk. It's not a series that anybody really has circled on their radar. Like, nobody's looking at the Auburn series at the beginning of the year. It's like, wow, I can't wait to go play at Auburn. Like, it's a funky ballpark. It's just a lot of things were going against LSU's favor. But I was really hoping that they were going to be able to get one of the games. So it was really unfortunate that they weren't. Like I said, it was like, game 7? Or, they had a road series last weekend, road game in the midweek. It's not very often you see teams at this time of the year playing 7 straight road games. So that was a little bit of a concern going into the weekend. I honestly thought LSU's pitching was going to be the reason why they won this series. And I really think that if the offense would have performed like normal, just 2 out of the 3 games, you probably end up winning this series because you held them to 4 runs on Saturday. You lost 4-2. You held them to 3 runs on Sunday. Like, those are really good days on the mound. Like, yeah, Friday night got away from you. Cade gave up 5 earned. You had some bullpen guys come in and give up, a couple runs. But it was Saturday and Sunday where you were just hanging on, and it always felt like you had guys in scoring position and you just never could come through. And that was probably the most frustrating part, is because you were right there. You just couldn't figure it out when the moment mattered the most. And like I said, man, hats off to Auburn. Like, that's an extremely good baseball team. That's easily a team that could make a run at Omaha, could be a top 8 seed if things keep going their way. That's a team that's won 4 out of the 5 series they played. So they've won more series than LSU has. The record, didn't really show that coming in because they had played so many close series. But, like, that's a very experienced team that wins close games. And what did they do? They found ways to win close games, even when maybe they weren't playing their best. The pitching staff stepped up, and LSU's offense wasn't really able to do anything. I want to talk about the star players a little bit because that was what was missing this weekend. You guys like Jared Jones, Daniel Dickerson. Curriel had a good weekend, not a great weekend because there were certain situations where we needed, him to produce at least quality outs, and he wasn't able to. He had a couple misplays out in the outfield also. But like I said, it was a group effort. It wasn't solely on him or anything like that. Like that kid's amazing. Like, to be a leadoff hitter hitting the best batting average on the team through this point in the season as a true freshman is just unreal. So, but your guys didn't step up when you needed to. I just remember a lot of the games, and I think about all the moments that it felt like Curriel, Jones, and Dickerson were up with the chance to do damage, and it just felt like they never could get it done. And I think, like I said, I think this is the anomaly. I'm hoping this is the outlier here, because what you've seen out of LSU's offense is like the complete total opposite of what happened this weekend. Like, they've been great hitting with runners in scoring position. They haven't struck out a lot. They've got clutch hits. You hit 1 home run this weekend. Not saying that that's like a factor on how you're winning games, but this is an offense that is one of the tops in the SEC, tops in the country. Like, it just wasn't falling for you. Like, there was a lot of bad approaches at the plate, and I think that's, you get out of an approach and you start pressing, and the pressure starts mounting because Auburn is is scoring runs and taking leads and getting ahead, and it just put a lot of pressure on them, and LSU wasn't able to come through. But like I said, I think LSU will for sure be able to bounce back. You have a great opportunity coming up. You play Alabama at home. You get them at the box for, back-to-back SEC series at the box with, Alabama come into town, and then Tennessee rolls in here. And boy, if you're not playing your best baseball, these next 2 weeks, you could flip this season on its head, like legit. Like you were sitting here 10-2 going into this weekend, and if you don't figure this thing out quick and drop these next 2 series, you're looking at like a 500 record in SEC play now, or worse, a losing record, right? And that is unfathomable to think of at last Thursday, and so it's really something you got to just lock it in. Everybody has those clunker weekends. Like Alabama lost to Mississippi State this weekend. I'm sure they're thinking the same thing. Like they got to bounce back. And I think LSU will. I think LSU has the good pitching. I think LSU playing at home. I think LSU getting this wake-up call of kind of like, hey, we've got to be able to focus. We've got to focus for every game for 27 outs. And I think they're going to get it done. I have a lot of confidence in this group. This is a lot of good players on this team, and I don't think you can keep them down for very long. So hopefully we see a little bit better from the Tigers this weekend. We'll be talking about it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Make sure you check us out on all the socials on X, Instagram, Facebook, and even on TikTok. Make sure you check us all out. I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure if you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel, do what you got to do, and have a great rest of your week.